So next is going through the college and later on becoming a teenager and finding your life partner. How easy or difficult was it for you to find a life partner having diabetes? And do you think it was easy? It was difficult? It should be very understandable. What are your thoughts on that?
I dated for some years, and I don't really think, looking back, that it was a problem. However, I think when meeting my husband, he kind of accepted it right off the bat, and I think that's because of the type of person that he is. So he was very accepting of it.
Okay,
yeah.
That's very good. If you have someone, life partner, who can support you throughout the life, it's really great. So the other thing is, I read that you're also on a pump from few days. So what are some of the things that you learned from using the insulin pump?
I actually love the insulin pump, and I really wish I would have gone on it sooner. My drawback to it was that I was afraid of being attached to something for 24 hours a day. But I actually got used to that very quickly. And I learned with the insulin pump more of how eating and actually things besides food, like stress and hormones for being a female, like that type of thing, how it affects your blood sugar. And I think the insulin pump is so much better because it lets you have that much more control over your insulin dosing when it needs to be adjusted on a day-to-day basis.
So you can keep track of all the foods that you're eating and also the amount of insulin you're taking.
Yeah. Yep.
So any kind of problems that you faced while using it, like any kind of pump failure or anything in the middle of a night or something like that?
I had actually no real emergencies since I've been on it. There was one instance where I think it was pretty late at night, maybe around midnight. We had just gotten home from being out. It was a Friday night or something. And I did get an error message from the pump where I thought it had died. But a phone call to the customer service actually found out that it wasn't a failure. So no, I've actually not had any problems, knock on wood, with anything. I've had pumps replaced, but not because they actually stopped working. They were for other minor problems with them that they had to be returned.
Oh, okay. So the next question here is, how did you survive the natural disaster that you had, a year back, last year probably? I think you were out of power for 3 days when you were hit by a huge tornado.
Tornado, yeah.
So what are some of the things that you need to be careful when facing a natural disaster like this? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the time of year that this happened, it was in September, I believe. So it wasn't during the summer when it's very hot here in New York. So I don't think temperature was that much of an issue as far as keeping insulin cool. But I think if that did happen in the summer, I think getting the stored insulin to a cool place would be very important. So luckily my mother doesn't live too far. So if we were affected, maybe her area wouldn't be. So it would be something where I would maybe look, to bring my stuff to her to keep safe.
That's good.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, what is your biggest diabetes achievement till now from the whole 30 years?
I'd have to say, well, there's two things really. The first one is that I'm very healthy. I am only now starting with some minor complications. I think that's a really, really big achievement. And the other one is that for the last 2 years or so, I've been maintaining my A1C at the lowest it's ever been.
So you said you start seeing little complications.
Yeah.
What are kind of complications you're having, and how are you dealing with them?
The first one is they're pretty sure I'm starting with apathy in my legs. It's been kind of painful walking and things like that, but I'm trying to stay active and trying to keep on top of that and do anything that I possibly can to avoid it from getting worse. And the other thing is gastroparesis, and that I've been given medication to take when the symptoms are at its worst. And again, I think every complication, they tell you that tight control, will hopefully hinder the condition from getting worse. So I'm definitely trying to keep on top of that as well.
Okay. The other thing is, what is your biggest diabetes fear?
Fear. That's a tough one. I think my biggest fear is, I guess, probably ultimately losing my life at an early age. I mean, I know we all have to go at some time, but I'm afraid of, going through a long illness, suffering a lot, and, leaving my husband and my family behind.
I'm really sorry, but I hope you stay very healthy, and your numbers are at a minimum, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And also, the next question here is, what are some of the things that you learned hard way, just by yourself, your experience that in this whole 30 years in the journey?
Hard way. I think the hardest lesson to learn is that nobody else can manage your diabetes but you. So, whether you're in the mood or you're not, it's something that you need to do. And if you don't do it, obviously there'll be consequences down the road.
Okay. So your final message to the diabetic community?
Oh, wow. I think my final message would be that after all these years, living with diabetes is definitely not easy, but it is manageable, and I think we're all living proof of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your story today to the whole community out there. Thank you so much, and you have a very healthy life, Stacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.